earlier. For some reason, Lucky decided to go after Holly, who was bugging him instead of the other way around. So that was kind of cute back there. And we have a wedding party here, so congratulations again to the bride and groom. And they, of course, got to see the chase back there while Tasha slept. It's been kind of an interesting couple days with Tasha because she's been resting a lot. If you were tuned in yesterday around 2 o'clock, you saw a nice chase between the two girls. Tasha, of course, loping, and Holly following behind, not fast. Please be careful with that. And so it was kind of interesting. Tasha waited for Holly, but Holly just kind of started eating and didn't appear again. So Tasha decided to take a little nap in the backside of the pond. She'd raise her head now and then just to see if perhaps the bear, Holly, was following her. But that didn't materialize, so she just continued to rest. So here we have Lucky kind of lumbering in, and they're getting frozen treats today. The treats are cranberry juice mixed with a little bit of water with some dried fruit and nuts in it. And he's hopefully going to take part in it, but Lucky's been pretty finicky about his food lately, so he hasn't been doing a real good job of eating for us. He is up to 484 pounds, but we haven't got him to move much past that in a couple weeks. So hopefully he will get up to that 500-pound range in a couple weeks here. So maybe he is going to try the tube that was just thrown out to him. Again, he's been pretty finicky about everything. Lucky is our 16-year-old male, and he is a neutered male, but he tends to follow Holly and enjoy her company. But today it seemed to be a switcheroo. Instead of her smacking him, he went after her. So she hasn't been around. If you are interested in our newsletter that I write weekly, it's on the North American Bear Center page. If you go to bear.org, you can find it. This week I talked about how Holly, our 10-year-old female, decided to dig her own den. Successfully doing so, she got about 24 inches into and under our service drive. And then, fortunate for us, we had a very heavy rain. It collapsed and we could fill it in with large rocks. She has a habit of digging underneath to den, but it caves in, which exposes an area outside the service drive. So we don't want to be surprised by walking around and facing Holly as we're checking the boundaries for the morning route. So that was filled in, so hopefully she's going to go to the rock den, which she was checking out a couple times yesterday. The rock den is this den just behind Lucky for those folks up on the deck here. And she has used that before the den, especially last year. So I'm going to stop for a minute to see if maybe there might be any questions up on the deck. Okay, so a lot of the folks that are up here were just out on the tour, on the behind-the-scenes tour, and Brandon did a great job of answering questions for them. Brandon has been working here this summer, and he's going to continue through the fall. The bears seem to like him. I don't know why they do, but they do like him, so it's kind of a good thing for them. So, excuse me? Oh. One of the gentlemen on the deck that just came in asked what the gestation period for a bear is. It's kind of an interesting process. The female, they mate in June, and then the egg goes into a blastocyst form. And if the female gains enough weight throughout the fall and into just pre-hibernation, the egg will implant around in November, and then the cubs are born in January, so it's a very short gestation period. And the female, again, has to gain enough weight for that to happen. And Dr. Rogers suggests it's about 175 pounds for a female. And usually the females are between 4 and 6 years old when they do give their first birth. Any other questions? Good question. This gentleman asked, why are our animals here, our bears? All of our bears came from a rehabilitation facility. Lucky came from Wisconsin. He was found wandering in a yard and taken in, and the day before he was to be euthanized, he came to live with us. We are very fortunate, and that's how he gets his name, Lucky. Holly is from Arkansas. She was saved from a wildfire from a gentleman, but he didn't release her. He kept her as a pet. And when she was about 8 months old, she was taken away from him by the Arkansas Fish and Game. She was sent to Appalachian Bear Rescue, could not be released back into the wild, was sent back to Arkansas, and came here in December of 2013. She is currently 10 years old and the matriarch of our enclosure, our 2.5 acres here. The bear world is run by females, and usually the oldest female is the matriarch. In this area, two bears have between a 2 and 8 mile territory, depending on the age and how many females are born to that female. Tasha, our youngest bear, is from Kentucky. She was found nursing on her dead mother, taken in by a gentleman. He did do the right thing and take her back into the wild, but she got into some trouble in a state park and was going to be euthanized, but the public outcry was so great that they decided to try to find her a home. They called Appalachian Bear Rescue, who could not take her because she was deemed a nuisance bear. And so we were very fortunate to be able to give Tasha a home here. Tasha is now 8 years old, and she's been here since she was 18 months old. The lifespan of a black bear can go well into the 30s if they get past that second and third year of their life. Most bears are hit by cars or taken during hunting season. And if they successfully can avoid those situations, they can easily live into their early 20s. They get a lot smarter as they get older. Well, I want to thank everyone for tuning in today and being a part of this broadcast. A lot of things are happening as the weather is changing here. We're going through a interesting heat wave for the end of, not even the end of August here, the first part of September. I've been here when we've had snow in the first part of September, so it's supposed to go up into the high 80s and even 90s this weekend. So think of this when you're sitting in your nice cool areas there, so as it's going to be hot here. We'll keep the bears cool by keeping their individual tubs filled. And of course, the bears that are out, again, we rotate our bears on a daily basis. Lucky does not get along with Tasha, so she cannot be out with him. So once mid-afternoon hits, around 2 to 3, we put Lucky in and we let Tasha out, so they all have access to go into the pond if they so want to. But in their individual enclosures, they do have access to their water tubs, and they like to sit in those to cool off. If a bear cools down its core, which is its belly and its feet, it can easily cool down its body. Temperatures that soar like they are right now, the tips of the bear's black fur can get up to 170 degrees, so they do like to cool down. Right now, the bears have lost their winter coat and just have their summer coats on, but they're still black bears, and it still gets very, very hot. Just imagine if you had a coat on today. And so each of the bears do have their summer coat, and they will be, again, gaining their winter coat in about 3 weeks or so. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you folks have not had the opportunity to visit Ely, do so. It's a small town, but we have good stuff in it. The International Wolf Center is just across town about 3 miles, and they educate about wolves as we do about bears. I want to thank everyone for visiting today. If you have any questions, find one of us in a maroon-colored shirt. Or if you would like to leave us a review, you can do so on TripAdvisor or Google, or we do have a Facebook account, North American Bear Center. So thank you all for visiting. And again, my name is Sharon. I'm the Senior Bear Keeper here. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great day and a great weekend.